Can I get approval of the minutes of the February 3rd, 2021 meeting?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second? John?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, Jack.
Okay, earlier in the year, we had received a request to extend the sales tax for the Lost at Globe Mill project. Their housing is pretty much done, and they were looking to just kind of wrap up the commercial space that is at the big windows, if you driven by the site, on the Court Street side. So they are, I don't know that they have a tenant in mind yet, but they are trying to get that space finished up a little bit. So they were looking for an extension until the end of April. I believe it expired in December, so or maybe February. Pardon me.
How they
So
doing?
they needed
How they doing with occupancy, Jack? Are they filling up?
I believe so. I didn't ask them when the last time I talked with them, but I will get an update on that.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with their request?
Nope.
We have actually by consensus voted on it in the past. Right now, we're just ratifying it.
Okay. Can I get a motion to ratify the extension?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Pardon me. Next item is GSCB, which is the former Empire Kitchen and Bath around the corner here from City Hall. Because they will have a retail, some retail on the first floor, what we need to do is consider a statement of retail findings relating to the project, and then request the mayor to confirm the financial assistance. So we've done this for other retail projects in the past also.
Okay.
They just, as an update for this project, I've been informed that they have secured a financial commitment for it, and will start moving on with their process for financing and then into construction.
Oh, great. All right. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
John, second.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Amanda?
Next item is Manor Properties. Again, we had previously approved this. The extension is out until November of this year. The main building that houses the ABC Chem Dry is complete, but he did, in anticipation, put an extension on to his building for an outside retail type of presence. Not his, but just a tenant. So he added 2,000 square feet to the facility for a total of 11,600. So again, he's extending out to finish up that space. So the building, it looks nice, and most of the, all the construction is done. Just interior improvements need to be.
So retail on Erie Street?
No, it's actually, it would be on Erie, correct. So he's got a small, again, 2,000 square foot add-on to the building.
Bring back the Anchor Inn.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Best fish fries in the world, Anchor Inn.
They did have a good fish fry.
Sorry, Jack.
We're aging ourselves.
Okay.
Well, I don't see a lot of dark hair other than mine, but mine's falling out, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Can I get a motion to ratify the action?
I'll move it again.
Second.
John? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. New business, Jack?
Okay, under new business, I had sent out the audit to everyone, as well as the annual report, the procurement and investment reports. So we can do the reports as one, and then the audit is another. I didn't see anything in the audit. Vin, from your perspective, there was nothing, I believe.
No. Pretty
Are we
straightforward.
required to have the firm present to us, or is that not necessary?
I don't know that it's necessary. There's never any findings. It's pretty basic. There's not much to it. If we do want them in the future, I'll make the request to them. I know that Dix Weevil and Scott used to come in, into the office or into the conference room and make a presentation to us. But even then, I think in the last years when they were doing it before Bonadillo took them over, they really didn't, say basically there's really nothing
No,
for me to
I'm
report
not.
on.
I'm not questioning that. I just want to make sure we're not skipping over a formality that we need to adhere to. I mean, I agree. I mean, we got 7 figures of cash on your balance sheet. It's a lot different story than it was 6 or 7 years ago. But
Sure.
still don't want to get loose on it. So
Okay.
if we're not required to do it, then that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything written, but if it's just a formality that we would like to keep right now, he could get onto the phone call and do this with us, remotely. So I think next would probably be in person. So at that point, then I will have him brought in. He comes from Albany, and most
I mean,
his
that's
people.
fine. I think it's probably more a discussion, Jack, of what do we do with that $1 million? I mean, we are a public authority. Having it sitting, in the bank is fine, but how do we reinvest if possible, or what are other IDAs doing that have liquidity to support projects in the city?
Well, that's part of with the initiative for the Wi-Fi. It is moving slow, yes, but that's one project that we were able to put money into. Some IDAs, they were allowed to do loans as part of their COVID, but I didn't feel it was necessary because the city I'm the loan guy here also, so we have funding available for that already. We pulled some aside for COVID purposes. So some IDAs have done that, but there are other projects I'm sure that will be coming down the pipe.
So you mentioned the Wi-Fi. So we've put seed money into that, and what's the percentage of completeness in the city on that project?
Right now they are in phase 1. Basically, the National Grid owns the telephone poles and the light poles that are around Genesee Street. The city owns the poles where the traffic lights are connected. So from the tower out in front here, the clock tower, they have put a radios and stuff up there, and basically are just going like point of sight out to various locations. So that's just one, and again, because of the restrictions and all the issue with National Grid of putting things on their poles, it's kind of caused a headache for the IT department. The city is making an agreement, or is in process of an agreement to have the poles turned over to the city. So then from there, we would have better access to them and be able to put the equipment on.
That may not be a good idea though, Jack. I mean, then the city's gonna own these poles and have to maintain them. They can't maintain what they got.
Understood. It's not my call. I'm just, just trying to follow along with what we can.
All right, you need a motion to approve the audit reports and everything, Jack?
I'll move.
Moving
I'll
it,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Jack,
And
we got
then
a couple
lastly-
things on the burner you wanna talk about?
Well, still, I need a motion for the annual report, the procurement and the investment reports.
You need them all separately?
No, just as a whole, that'll be fine.
Okay. Make a motion?
Yeah, I'll move the same thing.
John,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay,
Okay, other things that are on my radar, Joe Gem from the GSCB group, they are in the process of purchasing the former Commercial Travelers building and turning that into 4 floors of residential, market rate residential, and then the bottom floor will have a commercial tenant, a few commercial tenants occupying what would be 10,000 square foot of space. The Ovalston apartments are being looked at, and I don't know where they are specifically with their purchase, but they did approach me, and I've sent out materials for that project. They'll look to put in somewhere near $39 million to turn that place around. I know that Coast has gone over there and has had some issues with those units there, and a lot of them are dangerous, et cetera. So that is coming down the pike. And then also, if you're familiar with Blessed Sacrament, over on James and the Conkling St. Agnes area, there is a church, a former school, and like a rectory, and then also the parking lot, which faces on James between Conkling and St. Agnes, I believe. So a gentleman has approached me on that to turn that into market rate housing. It has, obviously it was Blessed Sacrament for a number of years. I think Blessed Sacrament had moved over to, church over in East Utica here near
One Carmel. One Carmel.
Mount Carmel. So I think it went over there. It became some type of a Baptist church, Gospel Light Baptist church for a number of years. That has since moved on, and so it's been sitting fallow for probably 5 to 6 years. So again, market rate housing in that neighborhood. It's a stable neighborhood. So those are the things that are kind of on my radar. We had a couple projects that I haven't heard much of lately, and so I've been reaching out. Is Christine Martin, if you recall, was going to buy the Presbyterian Church on Genesee Street, but that I've been informed is the project is no longer in play, and also the over on Hotel Street, the group that came up out of Washington, D.C., along with Brewer, is I haven't heard anything on that. I don't know if it's they're still trying to get funding for it, so that's kind of at a standstill also.
Jack, I drive by the Calvin project on Sunset Ave every now and then. It looks like they're making steady progress. Are they on schedule as far as you know?
From what I understand, I drove by it the other day. As you say, it does look good. We haven't heard, I think everybody's kind of taken down their, make it smaller and put it somewhere else, signs and stuff like that. So I think it'll blend in well with the surroundings there. It is a little taller than what that school was by maybe a story, but I don't, and you don't think you get much from Genesee Street.
Okay.
It's not that it's much taller, it's positioned right on the street versus the school was set back.
Street line, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is. It front the street, or it is pretty close. There's there's not much room between the sidewalk and
No.
that. So that does make it imposing, but I think the overall look of it and architectural should be conducive to the area. I will take and send you put a list together of the different
Laura
projects.
has joined the meeting.
The different projects that we have, so you can drive by them. So I don't know if anybody's gone by the Starting Line Apartments over across the street from on Dwyer there, across the street from Nimes. Those are beautiful looking places. So just a lot of these projects have come a long way and have really transformed some neighborhood and areas that they're in.
How about the old GE though? That seems to be just sitting there an eyesore.
They are moving
They got
slow
that
on
pile of rubble there, and it's what's the story with that?
You know, I reach out to these guys, but they just don't seem to respond very much. There's, I don't know what the problem is or if they're overloaded. It is something to keep an eye on, and I will reach out to them to get an update on that. They do have the Kemp building. They're across the street from, or adjacent to the Fort Schuyler Club. They have those two buildings. There is some movement over at 253, so that's good news there. They really can't park too much on, as they have mentioned in the past, on Court, Hopper right there because of traffic, so they can't really stay much during the winter time because of the snow and the narrowed lane. So,
Yeah, but Jack, those are three projects that are not moving as anticipated. We've done multiple extensions on the Century Club. We don't know where it stands on Kemp, and I know we're not, I got my lender's hat on, but when you got a contractor or developer with three properties and not one of them is coming to fruition, we really need to get a little bit deeper on where they stand on timelines. And if they're going to keep coming back for extensions, maybe the answer is no. John's point is well taken. Those are three, Kemp and Century Club. It's kind of what's going on behind those walls, but the GE project. I mean, that is an eyesore. John's absolutely right.
Yeah. The Kemp building, just so you know, we're not engaged in that project. They did submit an application. I reviewed it, but we haven't gone anywhere past that. But
whether we consented it or not, it's three projects. The same developer is not, for whatever reason, is not being able to complete as anticipated.
Correct. I totally agree. I'll reach out to them today and get some type of an answer on that and what type of timelines they're looking at. And I totally agree with not extending any sales tax. In fact, on 1900, we have not issued a sales tax exemption letter to them on that because they have not responded, and Laura would back me up on this. We talked about it.
And the rumor mill is they're looking at another project locally. So
engagement letter. So.
Is that it, Jack?
Any other comments or thoughts, considerations?
Anybody got anything else?
I don't.
Nope.
Doc, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Mark?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.
Yep.
Everybody.
Take care, everyone.